did not have the camera turned on, but I just screamed. This is one of my biggest fears, are these creatures. I know they are harmless, I know they are friends in the garden, they take care of a lot of pests, but they have scared me for pretty much my whole life. They disappeared from my garden for a while, and unfortunately they are back. I approve of my lizard friend, and I do not approve of this quite long snake that is making its way into the vegetable garden that I was just going to enter. That may have to change my plans unless supervisor can take care of this for me. Yesterday I saw the snake watching Zipper when he was rolling around in the grass. I swear the snake thought it was funny, and I didn't have my camera with me. It was quite the sight, but now the snake is in the garden and I have to deal with it. This is not my cup of tea. I am not looking forward to doing my watering. I just finished work. I didn't water this morning, and I've got to go in and possibly face the snake in there. Who knows what else lurks beneath the foliage of my garden that is not overgrown yet and not jungle-like yet, but it is definitely full of foliage, and there are a lot of places where a snake could hide and scare the crap out of me, so I'm sure hoping I don't find it when I go and water my garden in a few minutes. I'm very cautiously sitting on my favorite filming spot in front of my vegetable garden because there was just a snake that slithered just an inch or so from where I am sitting, and I am terrified of snakes. I was about to film a little video for you, and my biggest fear appeared, and I wasn't too thrilled about it, let me tell you, because I'm about to water the garden and there's a snake in the garden. I did actually catch it going right into my garden. I caught it on camera, so you can see my biggest fear, and I'm not so thrilled about this. I thought I would take you along on a little watering tour. I'll show you what I hand water pretty much daily in the garden. I also use soaker hoses, not every day, but the items that I hand water, I was going to show you how they're doing and give you a little garden update and give my plants some water. And here's hoping we do not encounter the slithery, I'm not going to call him a friend. He may be a friend of the garden, but he is not my friend. So let's hope we don't encounter the creature that I just saw a short time ago. I'm going to start with filling up my 12-liter watering can, or 3 gallons. This is what I use to hand water my garden. And we'll just use our good old hose and fill up the can. Want to drink? We are going to check out how my potatoes that I planted in dog food bags and my burlap sack are doing. I'm going to insert a video clip from a couple of days ago of what happened to my potato plant in the burlap sack. I'll insert that here, and we'll check out my other potato plants in real time, the ones in dog food bags. We are doing an unexpected potato harvest today. I've just been outside doing some cleaning. I did houseplant repotting, which I did not film, and I was just going to put stuff away. I've got all kinds of empty soil bags and empty pots and odds and ends kicking around my backyard and garden. So I was going to clean, but I went to move my burlap potato sack that I planted potatoes in. It was a burlap plant cover that I had a lime tree in and then I used for potatoes. And it split open. I did not expect that. So we're doing an early potato harvest. And this man just joined in. This is the current situation that is going on with my burlap potato sack. You can see the potatoes are spewing out. I have very low expectations for this potato harvest. The plants are still pretty small in this particular bag, and they never flowered, they never browned. I think they had a lot of growing left to do. I suppose I could try to save them, but at this point I think it's better to just harvest them and use the soil somewhere else in my garden. And see what comes out. Again, not expecting much. So far, only that first potato I have gotten out of here. And all this soil is going to be repurposed for another project. We've got a tiny baby potato that is number 2, hardly worth saving. There's the root of the potato plant, not much going on here. Oh, this is number 3, small but decent, we can use it. And number 4. And number 5, another one barely worth saving. Number 6. The original potato, which is a little soft and squishy. I'm going to replant this original potato that was my potato plant in the original garden and see if we get a brand new plant. Number 7, I believe. Number 8. I'm going to call this the baby potato series that we've got harvesting here. These are so cute and petite little potatoes. I believe this is number 8. I'm not sure if I'm going to save this one, but we'll count it for our tally. Once again, this was another one of my original plants that I had planted, the original potato where it grew from. And I'm going to replant this in the vegetable garden as well. See if we get a second plant from it. Oh, we've got another decent one. So I think that's number 9, but hold on. Upon further examination of this object, which I believed was a potato, I don't actually think it is a potato. It is, oh, whoa, now I'm not sure. I thought this was an avocado pit. And I'm not sure now, honestly. It's super, whatever this is super hard. Like it feels, well, it's not hollow. It's possible it is a potato, a really hard potato, but I'm not 100% certain. This could be potato or it could be some form of pit that was in my compost. I'm gonna replant it. Whatever this mystery object is, could be potato, could be avocado pit, could be something else. We're gonna replant it and see what grows. You never know. I would say we dug right to the bottom of the bag. I'm going to show you my little harvest. It is very petite. And oh my god, it's not impressive. You can't even see it. Let me put it in my hand. That is my entire potato harvest. I really did know they weren't ready, but I couldn't help it. When I went to pick up the bag, it literally ripped open and split apart. So I didn't want to save the plants. I thought they were too far gone with the way the soil had split. So this is what we got. And some of these tiny ones I'm actually going to replant in the vegetable garden along with these soft potatoes, the original plants, the original potatoes that grew the plants, and this mystery piece. There's two of them, which may or may not be a potato, or it could be some type of pit. Here are my two remaining container potato plants. This was the first experiment I did, planting them in dog food bags. And they're doing super well. They are super lush and healthy. This is what it looks like inside one of the bags. Here is my other one. I have topped up the soil at least twice since I created these dog food bag potato planters essentially. And I could probably top them up at least one more time because there is space in the bag. So I might do that. Not today because I just topped them up, but very soon. Here's a little flower planter I have. Not full of blooms, but they're just starting to come. There's some flowers I transplanted from my rock garden. Check out the garlic. Still pretty lush and green, not much browning happening, and no scapies or scapias. I think this variety does not get them. I have a few stray garlics, which I don't even really remember planting this season, and they are right over here, and they do have scapies on them. So totally different variety. These could be from last year that somehow ended up over here in this corner of the garden, but I will have a fair bit of variety in my garlic this year. I should probably harvest these scapies pretty soon. I think they're getting close to harvest size. So we're gonna start off watering. We're gonna water these plants here. These are different varieties of squash that I've got growing. And this might be a watermelon plant. I thought it was a squash, but the leaves look way more watermelon-like in a totally different area than I planted the rest of my watermelon. I thought it was a squash. And one more squash here. These are either spaghetti squash or butternut squash, most likely. We are going to give these guys a drink of water. Coming a little further into the vegetable garden. Here is my Dills Atlantic Giant Pumpkin. It is probably doubled in size since you last saw it. Still really small compared to Pumpkin Big Macs, which I will show you next, but it's on its way with growing. And we're going to give it a drink of water. It's actually pretty thirsty today, surprisingly. Sucking up that water pretty fast. And swinging around this way, just a short distance from Dills Atlantic Giant. This is my one and only, well, my one of three Pumpkin Big Macs. This is my monstrous plant, Pumpkin Big Macs. This year, I'm attempting to grow the world's largest pumpkin and the world's largest watermelon, and also win the contest that Mary's Heirloom Seeds has going on, their watermelon and pumpkin growing contest. I'm using Dills Atlantic Giant and Pumpkin Big Macs in an attempt to win this contest. Oh my God, since I turned the camera on, this guy is already trying to cause problems. He is attempting to go for my Pumpkin Big Macs. This is not appropriate, sir. We are not doing any of that today. Pumpkin has been doing very well, and you are not going to change that. So I just wanted to give you a little size comparison here with the pumpkin Big Macs. This is not supposed to be happening. He is way too close to my plants. Zipper, you are going to be in big trouble very soon. He didn't bite it yet, but he's really thinking about it. You need to exit. Zipper, exit the garden. He is trouble. This guy is trouble. So here's my hand. It is on the smaller side, definitely, but check out the size difference. This is literally one leaf on my biggest pumpkin Big Macs plant. Like, that is massive. I just can't even describe the size. I'm actually tempted to take out a ruler and measure it because I've never seen a leaf so big on a pumpkin plant. And this guy is getting into way too close to my pumpkin plants. No, 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 no. We are not doing this. So this is one pink pumpkin Big Macs, and there is a second one right beside it, a lot smaller. And all of these leaves are pretty giant on my big one. It is almost outgrown my supervisor protection. So I'm going to be expanding my supervisor pumpkin protection. I have not decided how I'm going to do that or what I'm going to do, but I need to do it soon because this plant is bursting at the seams from its protection. And as you can see, it definitely does need protection because this guy is too obsessed with pumpkin plants. So I may have to invest in some more types of protection for this pumpkin Big Macs. Coming this way, here's my raspberry bush, definitely doing well. Lots of little raspberries are forming everywhere. Here's a sunflower, definitely putting on lots of growth. And the beans, holy smokes, I did not know this. One of them is almost at the top of my trellis already. I may have to do some modifications here very soon. The marigolds have put on lots of growth. I've got one little calendula plant that is starting to bloom, reseeded from last year, right beside pumpkin Big Macs. And we are entering the land of watermelon plants. Here we have my rattlesnake watermelon from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. These ones are doing really well. They are some of the superstars. There are 2 of them here. And this one has been very slow to grow. It is healthy and lush, but growing very slowly. And these two here are also doing super well, almost outgrown their little protection from the supervisor. And this one is really starting to take off with growth. And this one is an absolute superstar. It was in the ICU on life support just a week or 2 ago, and it is thriving. I'm so glad I didn't give up on it. And we're gonna check out my Desert King watermelon. This one is doing fine. And this one was on life support just a short time ago, and it is thriving. I'm so glad I gave it a chance. There's a tiny bit of chamomile that reseeded from last season. I didn't plant it this year, but I'm happy that it came back. And right here we have what I want to call a potato jungle happening right beside pumpkin Big Macs. Let me know down below in the comments if you think I should remove this potato jungle anytime soon, because it's so close to my pumpkin Big Macs plant. Like, literally the leaves are almost touching in some areas. So I'm curious if I should do an early potato harvest to see if I can give this pumpkin plant more space or if I should let the potato keep going. Maybe it is helping out the pumpkin plant somehow. Let me know what you think down below. Here are my in-ground tomatoes. They're also being bombarded by potato plants and lettuce. This part of the garden is very jungle-like. There's also raspberries growing in the middle, and the tomato plants are flowering. Here are my container-grown tomatoes. These were the ones in my DIY greenhouses. They are flowering and just thriving in their containers. This one is also thriving. They have almost outgrown their cages already, some of them. And lots of flowers. Here are my romaine lettuces. I have eaten quite a bit of them and they just keep on going. They are not bitter or anything like that. They are doing super well and definitely a delight to have in the garden. And over here, we're in a different quadrant of the garden. This is my third pumpkin Big Macs that I had transplanted quite a while ago when I didn't have any of my Dills Atlantic Giant sprout. I moved this one over and it's doing pretty well. Smaller than the other ones, but soon I'm gonna have to change my zipper protection because it's starting to outgrow it. Need something different. I'll figure that out. And right by my foot, we have these really pathetic looking pepper plants. These pepper plants were in my cottage garden area and I could tell they were not doing well. They did not seem to like that cedar bark mulch. So I just recently moved them into the vegetable garden in hopes that they will survive here. They don't think they would survive in the other area. So fingers crossed that the pepper plants rebound and get some fresh new growth very soon. Here in this corner of the garden, I don't show very much. I've got some cucumber plants growing amongst some red-leafed lettuce. Got some sunflowers that are really putting on new growth. And I did plant both beans. Planted two varieties of beans here. One of them never came up, an Indian snake bean from Baker Creek, did not grow. And then the second one I reseeded with was a pole bean from a local Canadian company. I can't remember which company, and it came up but is definitely being eaten by someone or something. Right here, two sprouts, both being eaten. I'm not too disappointed. If they eat them, but it's fine. Thank you so much for joining me on my little vegetable garden tour. I just realized I got so into updating you on the garden that I forgot to finish watering my plants, so I'm going to go do that now. I may leave the camera turned on in case any interesting creatures turn up. Maybe the camera can capture anything interesting that happens, that could potentially happen when I'm watering. Maybe the snake will reappear, maybe some other creatures. Maybe the snake will reappear, maybe some other creatures will appear. You never know what's going to happen when you're out watering your garden. So I will probably set up the camera and just let it record, and if anything unique or interesting happens, I will add it to this video. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos where I update my attempts at growing the largest pumpkin and watermelon in the entire world. And wishing you a good dose of rainfall. I am going to pray to the rain gods for all of you to have a decent rainfall very soon. I hope you have a good day, evening, night, wherever you are, and we will see you very soon in another video. Bye for now.